6 years before the awesome classic Wolfman movie that we got, Universal ended up giving it a try, and didn't really work for them very well. Now, does that mean the movie's bad? No, the movie's not bad. Like the Spanish version of Dracula, it's one of those underrated gems. However, as a movie, it's kind of just okay. It's kind of just okay. There's some good things in it, there's some weird things in it. We're gonna break it all down to the best of our ability. Please ignore the barking dog. Anyway, break it down to the best of our ability. So, what's up? What's happening? What's going on? Everybody, welcome back to Mission Station, which is for everything animation, including TV, movies, and especially monster films. I am your local monster fanatic and host, Jackson Small. Welcome back to 31 Days of Horror Monster-Mania. Welcome to my review of the 1935 oddity that is Werewolf of London. Universal's first attempt at trying to make a werewolf monster film, and it blew up in their face and bombed because it looked and used similar techniques to the Paramount movie that came out around the same time, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Yeah, Paramount was also making movies by this time as well. So, yeah, this is the one part where it looked very similar, and it ended up costing them big time. And now the movie is just a really clever piece of history. Heck, they don't even have that much background info on it. They have a plot, synopsis, and that's it. Little to nothing is actually known about this movie's background, because it's just been thrown into obscurity, and Universal's been trying to forget it ever since, because it was such a huge financial failure. So, what's the movie about? Well, it's about a botanist in Tibet that's attacked by a strange animal that turns out to be a wolf. Upon his return to London, he turns into a werewolf and terrorizes the city by night. And the cure and only hope for him is a rare Asian flower. Yeah, you don't hear that much in werewolf movies, do you? So, not really a whole ton to say about this movie. Dr. Wilfrid Glendon, the main character, he's not good. I hate to say it, but he's just not good. He's not bad or anything. The actor does okay, but the character himself just becomes outright unlikable, because a lot like Griffin in The Invisible Man, he just goes crazy with power when he finds out he can start transforming into a werewolf and terrorize people. That's pretty much the whole movie, and he becomes a very, very big pain in the neck character to deal with. To the point where you don't want to see him win, you want to see him lose. And then the rest of the cast is okay. Yogami, Lisa Glendon, Paul Ames, Sir Thomas Forsyth, Edith Coombs, Hugh Renwick, and Hawkins. They're fine. Nothing super original or memorable, but they're okay. And that's really the biggest way to describe this movie. It's okay. Yes, the Spanish version of Dracula I put on the same level as the original Dracula. Whereas this one, it is an underrated gem, but at the same time, it's just decent at its very core. It's got some great atmosphere, some really good music, and solid acting. But it just has way too many problems. Not really much more to say here. Let's go straight into my written review. And one of the only reviews of this movie you will probably ever see on the internet, because not even James Rolfe in the Massacre has touched this one. After having so much back-to-back success, Universal was in search of their next big hit monster movie, so they decided to give werewolves a spin to try shaking things up from the previous films in the Pantheon. Not a bad idea. Unfortunately for them, though, it horribly backfired, as the film became their first monster installment to bomb at the box office, mainly due to their monster design and effects looking similar to Paramount's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Thankfully for them, though, 6 years later, they got the hit werewolf movie they wanted in 1941's The Wolfman, which I already reviewed. However, as a result, it's caused this first attempt to fade into the fog of obscurity, as not even James Rolfe in the Massacre has discussed it at all. He's done 11 or 12 Monster Madness marathons, and he has not touched this movie once. Think about that. And honestly, that's a shame because Werewolf of London is not a bad movie at all. Sure, it's got some odd makeup, bizarre dialogue, unsympathetic main character, and the usual 30s corniness. This time because, especially, it's unintentionally funny. But it still has some great atmosphere, some excellent music, solid acting, a fast pace, passable effects for the time period, and surprisingly really good suspense. Sure, it is one of the weaker films of the Pantheon, and I do feel bad that it is the movie that had to follow up a masterpiece like Bride of Frankenstein, but a lot like the Spanish version of Dracula, it has this uniqueness about it that helps it stand out from the rest of the pack. Not to mention that without it, we wouldn't have the iconic 1941 movie that became so beloved. So in a strange way, even if Universal themselves see this movie as a failure and has been trying to bury it ever since, it still has its own fascinating merits, and it's sad that a grand majority of this movie's background has been lost to history. So overall, it is a decent first attempt at an interesting concept that deserves at least one watch. It's an underappreciated gem. Not to the point of being almost on the level of what it should have been, like with Spanish Dracula, but a decent movie. A decent monster movie that's worth at least one watch to see if it may or may not be your thing. There are some people that really like this movie, and there's some that are kind of just on the fence. Me, I do like it, but I don't love it. It's decent. At its very, very core, it's a decent one and done, fun, goofy little monster movie. And that's why its final verdict is going to be a 6 out of 10. The lowest that we've gotten so far from the Universal Monsters Marathon. But by no means bad. It is a decent movie, it's a watchable movie. It just had the unfortunality of following up a masterpiece sequel. And unfortunately having similarities to another company's movie that ended up becoming its downfall. It's sad, but sometimes it's just how film is. Well, that's all I've got for this review. Sorry, I got something stuck in my throat. Thank you so much for watching this review. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more spooky videos like this almost every single day. Feel free to hit the hype button if you so desire to help this get higher up in the algorithm. And stay tuned because it is only the 6th day of October. We still have a long way to go. So, I'll see you guys next time for another bizarre, curious, forgotten oddity in the Universal Monster series with Dracula's Daughter.